everybody for being here. It's very nice to share my passion with you, that it's the marine side of things. Everybody, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So as NVT, we work as a team, but also as a community. If we work together, earlier the question of what can we do, I think as a community we can do a lot. So this is in a local context, and from the marine program we also work in a broader context. So these are a lot of the partners that we work with. The marine environment, it's shared. So sometimes when you do conservation on land, you can put a fence and do a park, and in there all the animals stay in and it's easier to manage. The marine environment, I cannot make the dolphins stay here, so it has its own challenges. This is the bay, and it is considered endangered in South Africa. So most of the bays that have sand are endangered. So what can we do? That's something that we are looking into. So in looking into what's happening, I was shocked to see that chemical pollution from storm water in the bay, it's very high. Cannot get higher than that for Plettenberg Bay. Nature's Valley, it's a little bit better, but that has to do with the catchment area. So a lot of the catchment areas goes through protected spaces. So it's, you can see it, you see the impact on the coast, that it's a lot less. So it's low at the moment in Nature's Valley. I work with humpback dolphins and bottlenose dolphins, and this is the distribution of the humpback dolphins along South Africa. So it's very coastal. They usually live at around 20-meter depth, so that's just behind the waves. There are just 500 left in South Africa, so we're working really hard at the national level to see what's happening and what can we do. So why dolphins? Dolphins are early warning systems in the sea, so if something is going wrong, dolphins will decline, and then we'll be able to see something is not right. They are on the top of the food chain, so they are top predators. So by studying dolphins, we can see what's happening under them. So from phytoplankton to fish to the top predators. So it's a nice indicator of species. It's also an umbrella species. So if we conserve the dolphins, we conserve everything that is under that. This is the red list of mammals of Southern Africa. So this was assessed last year. So for the humpback dolphins, it's endangered, and for the bottlenose dolphins, we have two populations, one in this area, Western Cape, Eastern Cape, and then KwaZulu-Natal. So for both species, we have two management units. That means if this population collapses, it will not get replaced. So we really have to look after our dolphins. This is the photos of them. So this one is the humpback dolphins. They are super shy. So you see the hump on the back, and they are harder to see. They travel in smaller groups. So when you see a dolphin and you think like, oh, I saw something, and you look again and it's not there, it's probably a humpback dolphin. They travel in small groups. We have a lot of loners lately, which is not great, but the group sizes are around 4 individuals. Trends, very important. So monitoring, yes. When you have 2 data points, we can draw a line and say, is the population increasing or decreasing? So for the humpback dolphins, there was an assessment in 2002 and a second one in 2012. And for bottlenose dolphins, very similar. But for both, there's a decline. So for the humpback dolphins, it's 50% decline. And for the bottlenose dolphins, 85% decline. The question is why? Are they just moving somewhere else? Or are their population crashing? So for that, we have to work as a team, not just in the area, but also in the bigger South African context. So for humpback dolphins, there's an amazing platform called Happy Whale. So if you see if you're able to get a good dorsal fin photo of a humpback dolphin, you can upload it into Happy Whale, and through AI, and also people working behind AI, you can do the matches of where does these dolphins go. But for our context, it's very interesting to see that in the area, we have about 120 humpback dolphins that are residents. Residents, I mean 200 kilometers, so between Knysna, Plet, an individual going to PE. And together with the SUSA consortium that I'm part of, we are monitoring in the national level. At an international level, these species go from Cape Town all the way to India. And then we're also working in international level to conserve this species. But for our context, 120 dolphins, we really need to look after them. So from what are the pressures? So recently there was a workshop about what can we do. Pollution is a big one. So fisheries also, we thought it was a big pressure, but after the workshop, just analyzing what do they eat, what's the fish species doing, are they endangered, are they doing all right? Pollution is a big one. So for me, I want to be part of the solution. So yes, I'm working with them, but at the same time, I'm part of the problem. So I do consume things that pollute the ocean. At the end of the day, we'll go into the catchment areas. So going back into the question, what can we do? I think when we ask ourselves, me as a citizen, what can I do to help conserve the area? So what happened with pollutants? They disrupt the endocrine system. So the baby machine, it gets disrupted, so they will not have babies as often. When they have babies, usually in killer whales, they have seen the first baby dies because the milk has so much pollutants that the baby, it suffers a bit. So at the national level, that's what we are busy with with the humpback dolphin, from engaging with multiple stakeholders to a biodiversity management plan. So for humpback dolphins, they are worse than rhinos, in worse state than rhinos and other species. So we really need to work together to look into that. Students that come to us, we do make them work hard. So this is Esther, and she's working on disease on humpback dolphins. So what's the skin? So when you can see the skin of an animal, of a person, the hair, you can really see the health status of that individual. So here we can see that this dude doesn't look that healthy. We compare, for example, Mossel Bay and Klein Bay, and the skin is a lot worse than Plet. So that means we still have an okay-ish environment because they really travel low distances, 200 Ks. So we can really assess, okay, this population, okay, what's the bay doing? What's the upstream? What's the farming doing? So we can really connect the dots. What else do we do in the marine space? We go on a boat and we do monitor marine mammals photographically and also acoustically. So on the bottom here, it's a spectrogram. A spectrogram is when you have a visual of the sound of the animal. So this is a brooder whale, and they communicate in the low frequency range, so that's 200 hertz. In the past, we had hydrophones in the bay, where you can really study which animals come to the bay, what's the sound, what's a soundscape it's called. We deploy them, and it looks something like this. Together with Cape Nature, we deploy the hydrophone, and it records 24/7. So these animals are very elusive, so it's really hard to work with them, but working with them acoustically, it's a lot easier. So at the moment, there's a master's student studying the humpback dolphins sounds here and in Keizerin. So all animals will have different sounds. So until you are able to just see who is who in the zoo, you can tell AI, hey, this is I. 5 minutes, thank you, Jana. Who is who in the zoo? You're able to tell AI what animals occur in the area. That's, for example, a humpback dolphin whistle. So it's humpback dolphins, they have signature whistles, so they call each other by name. So because the visual, it's very limited at sea. It's like if I will be in the sea going, Ali, 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 and Lauren will be like, Lauren, Lauren, Lauren. So we can communicate that way. So you can really do abundance estimates. So you can count the animals, the signature whistles. Something that we're doing as well, it's conserving the species not just for their ecological value, but also their cultural value. For our society, what's the cultural value of these animals? So they have shown that they are rescuers, they are guardians, they can be indicators that ancestors listen to the rituals that we're doing. Outreach is a big part of our program also, so Rocky Shores, connecting people to nature, having that caring for the environment, and until you care something, you will look after it. So we got a grant through Mission Blue as Hope Spot Plet, And we are taking 450 kids out to the rocky shores to make them care. Yes, we teach them things, but it's more that heart-to-nature connection that is so important for the future, for caring. So this is Ninka. Ninka did a great job doing this outreach material for the kids, also with Salome. And at the end of the program, we give them a little booklet and a little certificate of well done. Fish. So we, together with Orca Foundation, Mel that is sitting there, thank you for sharing the footage on with the shark spotters and Orca on what's happening in the bay. So Hannah did a preliminary story on the fish species, and these are the results. It's really nice to see that red roman there that is near threatened. And now Kylie is doing the continuation, and this is what she has to do. She has to look to this amazing footage. And count the fish. Also with SIAB, we are taking their footage that they have deployed just in front of here, Nature's Valley, and see what fish species occur here. Another aspect that we're doing is conserving the area, and for that we have to go upstream. 2 minutes, guys, we can do it. So by going upstream, we are talking to landowners on the importance of protecting their spaces. So same as Hebron, it's a nature reserve, same as Hog Hollow. Can we work together into upstream the catchment areas, making them a nature reserve or a protected environment? Robert Coastal Corridor is a big protected environment on that side. Can we as landowners do the same on this side? So we're working with landowners in that aspect and hopefully reduce a potential pressure in the future. Management. What's the best top-down approach to conserve the area? So we have, for management, you have, and policy, you have top-down approach. That's somebody telling you, hey, don't be here, it's a marine protected area. Or bottom-up approach, people saying, hey, let's work together and conserve this area. So ideally, for us, is to meet middle ground. So for management, we have looked into OACMs. OACM stands for Other Effective Conservation Measures. It's a new policy in South Africa, so we did look into that, and it's limited in Plettenberg Bay. There's a special management area that it is between the two MPAs. Can we make this a gazetted special management area? It hasn't been done in South Africa before, so we are exploring on what are the steps to protect it from a top-down approach. For me, the most important one is co-management, and that means I look after you and you look after me. Hey, that dog on the beach, it's not cool. And you create an ethos on the community. And when everybody does the same, we can create an ethos in Nature's Valley, for example. And from there, co-management, we all look after the resources together. So I'll give you a quick example. I'm sure I have like 30 seconds. And it is the Buffalo's River up in the cracks. So in there, the community saw there's a little Otiniqua fish in there, where because of the drought, the river has no water. This river also it goes in our pipe. So what can we do? Let's put a bunch of money together and let's clear the area. So we help, NBT help into supporting the process. And at the end of the day, they cleared a lot, and the whole community got responsibility of their own resources. So for me, that's the future. TFFE has limited capacity. Sun parks, they work really hard and also have limiting capacity. Cape Nature, so everybody's super busy. So we as citizens, and me also as a consumer, I have responsibilities. Thank you for diving with me, and any questions?